Mayor of London Sadiq has launched a new toolkit for teachers to use in classrooms, aiming to teach students how to recognise and challenge sexist behaviour in an attempt to tackle high rates of violence against women and girls across London.
We've launched today a new toolkit to help schools, secondary schools, tackle the epidemic of violence against women and girls. So I've written today to more than 500 secondary schools in London with the Have a Word video, and also giving them financial support of up to £1 million, working with a great arts and education charity, Tender. And the idea is to support young people to have the skills both to be empowered, to be educated, and to tackle violence against women and girls by addressing their own behaviour and the behaviour of their mates as well.
The Mayor visited Rokeby Secondary School for boys in Newham to see the training's impact firsthand.
The conversation you've had gives me confidence that if you were in a situation where you yourself was behaving inappropriately with some of your friends, where you'd have a word with yourself as the character did and with your friends, because we've got to show allyship to girls and to women.
In a session run by Tender and their teachers, students discussed the positive and negative connotations of different words and talked about the Have a Word video released earlier this year, which encourages boys and men to spot and challenge sexist behaviour. Speaking to CYP Now, students spoke about the session, saying they liked how interactive and engaging it was.
This experience today was really good. I liked how ideas were being thrown around, how everyone was really interactive and giving their opinions on what we should do.
Basically, I personally really liked the workshop because it expressed how people have different opinions on what should happen and how stuff may seem minimal to others but very complex to others. Like, we had a conversation more like, oh, but this is very complex too, and one person said, I disagree. This can be very simplified if we did this, and help protect women. And I enjoyed it because I love ideas being thrown around, because this is discussion on what should actually happen in real life. Everyone shouldn't go for just one biased opinion. Everyone should be like, we can protect them doing this, we can protect them doing that.
I think like even just like catcalling and like just like glances, right? It happens like a lot, especially because like we're in London, like such a big city, right? Like you see everything happening, and I feel like first it allows us to be aware that this is wrong, right? Sometimes you just see these things and you think, oh, that's normal, because you see it all the time. But in reality, first of all, you understand that actually that's wrong. That's not how it should be. But also, I feel like it's giving me the confidence that it's okay to stand up, right? And that how to stand up, you don't need to have like a massive like monologue that's wrong, you know, you can't be doing that. But it can be very like subtle as well. It can just be like, you know, that's not all right. You shouldn't be doing that, right? And I think it's given me like a much like better understanding of what I can do as well. Like I said previously, understanding of what was right and what was wrong. But now I feel like I know what I can do as well to help.
Isa, a teacher at Rokeby Secondary School, also told CYP Now that the training encouraged everyone to get involved.
You would always find in a session that even the quietest student will have a chance to say, actually, I think this. I think it encourages all the students to get up and have a say, even if it's just, you know, putting a card in a certain place to say that this is what they think this word means, or putting it on a certain line on a spectrum. Every student will have to get up and get involved in some way, which is really nice because it means that you're getting to see everyone's opinions and everyone feels involved. I think the information on the toolkit is quite up to date, so that's always helpful to know that it's accurate and in line with the current picture. The resources are accessible. They're created by facilitators who are like experts in the topic. So I think it definitely gives you confidence when you're stood at the front of the room delivering, but it's also very easy to use, and it puts the onus on the students to start the conversation and move it forward. You'd be surprised how much of the session is actually the students giving their opinions and sharing and bouncing questions. So I think, it makes it really easy for you in terms of a workload perspective as well, when it's really student-led, these resources and activities. Students come in with a range of experiences, which mean that a lot of the things we might think are common sense actually aren't, and they rely on tools and these conversations and these resources to have learn about these things and make sure they go into the world being the best version of themselves.